I just wanted to jump on here right quick to show you the current project that I'm working on. I went to my garden meeting, and then after the meeting I went to Publix in Palm Beach Gardens on PGA Boulevard, and then I saw on Facebook that Latoya Perry at La Soli's Seafood Company had the blue crabs on sale. You buy a dozen, you get a half dozen free. So I was like, let me turn this car around and go get some crabs. So here's what I'm working on. So I learned that if you want to handle your crabs, put them on some ice. All of them were alive, and they are big sizes too. They are really big, really good size crabs. So I got the dozen, and I got the half a dozen for free. I came home, got my cooler out, put them on ice so I can work on them. Now, I love blue crabs. I haven't had them in years, though, because I got spoiled by the snow crabs last work. So what I wanted to do, and why you see this water here, I want to clean mine first. So I've been cleaning crabs. That's the tops I pulled off from the ones I've cleaned. That's the water. I put them in and rinse them off. And here's where they sit. And I'm going to boil some, and I'm going to fry some. Fried blue crab. Here's my pot that I'm going to use. Got my seasonings in here, a little Old Bay, a little bit of complete seasoning, and I added just a little bit of lemon pepper. So I'm going to set my phone and show you how I'm cleaning my crabs, and hopefully this will work. Now, when I started, I realized I didn't have plastic gloves, which probably wouldn't work for me anyway, because my hands are very tender. I've had surgeries on both of my hands. I know too much information, but I can't use a whole bunch of strength to do things with my hands sometimes. And pulling these crabs apart is one of them. Anyway, long story short, went to the store, forgot my gloves. I'm using my gardening gloves, which work out for me anyway. We're handling these crabs and pulling them apart. So let me get one. Okay, so here's a pretty good size one right here. So what I do, I pull it apart, and the way that I do it, because I can't just, like some people, I can't just go in there with my thumb and pull it apart. I have to have a tool to open it. Just like you might want to shuck oysters or something, you gotta have a tool to open. So I was using this big giant screwdriver, which was not working out well because it was chewing up the back of the thing, the back of the crab. So what I got was my kitchen shears. I don't cut anything, but what I do, I take my kitchen shears, I grab the crab from the back, and while the crab is facing down, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little slit right there. That's where I'm going to place my kitchen shears. Right in the corner. Work my way down. I'm not cutting anything. Hey, Amber. Oh, yeah. You're on the refrigerator. You're actually on two places on the refrigerator. You're on this side, and there's another picture on the front. We always put your pictures on the refrigerator. So, okay. So, I inserted the kitchen shears in that line right there. So now, let me see if this works. I can go in and see, I can pull it apart much easier than trying to just do it with my thumb. See how this coming off? And there it goes. And I don't feel as bad because the ice in the cooler pretty much has the crab frozen. Let me turn this light off so y'all can see better. Is that better? I have my light under the sink on so I can see. But, yeah, so once you pull it, that's what you get. You get a clean crab. You get a clean crab, and then I take off the lungs. And then I go in there with my finger, and all of that yellow stuff that people who don't clean their crabs first, is actually green when you separate the crab. Once you cook it in your Old Bay, it turns yellow. I think red and yellow make green. I don't know. Or no. Red and green make, I don't know what color it makes. Doesn't make orange. But anyway, that orange stuff, yellow stuff that people are are, which I find disgusting, that they dip bread and crackers into now. Once the crab is done, if they don't clean it first, they're eating that part and they're eating the lungs. Harmless, of course, but when I grew up, when we separated our crab, we didn't eat the lungs and that yellow stuff. I'm not doing it. So it's easier for me, especially since I'm frying some today. Separate clean the crabs first. And then Latoya Perry owns La Soli Seafood, where I got these beautiful crabs from. And she said, if you want to freeze your crabs, which you can do, she said blanch them first. I don't know if I'll be able to eat all of these by myself today. I have 18 crabs and they are big sizes. Hey, brother. Thank you. They're big size crabs. And she said they'll be even bigger next month. So I'm going to be sure to go by there. Let me do another one. And the other thing is, I don't know if the crabs are male or female. I don't care. They're going to taste the same to me. So I'm going to try another one. I got another pretty good size one here. It's been in the ice. It's not moving that much. I don't have to worry about them pinching me, because they've been sitting in that cold water for a little bit. I haven't been home hardly 30 minutes, and as soon as I got home, I got out the ice and yeah, brother, I'm gonna fry some. I'm gonna fry some definitely, and I haven't eaten today because I had my mouth set for some crabs. I went in Publix and I was gonna try those snow crabs. Guess what? They didn't even have any. And they had king crab, and the king crab looked so old. I was so disappointed. And then I sat in the car after I loaded my groceries, and I saw, well, Latoya Perry put on that the crabs today, buy a dozen, get a half a dozen free. And I love that, and I also love, her crabs are always pretty good size. See, I just separated the top from this crab, so it's clean. I take my kitchen shears. I take my kitchen shears, and that part there, right along there where the eyeballs used to sit, I just cut that off. So I want my crabs to be pretty. Cut that off. And then, hey, Latoya. Oh, they're male. She said male crabs. Okay. I am going to enjoy this. Thank you so much. And for those who need some crabs, go to La Soli Seafood. It's on Blue Heron Boulevard. If you know where Popeyes is on Blue Heron, it's right across the street, the blue building, right next to the corner store, right there on the corner of Avenue E and Blue Heron. And you can actually park at the corner store and walk next door. That's what I did. I just parked. I walked around, went in there. She was like, "You here for some crabs?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." And you know, I did ask her about you know, preserving them. She said blanch them first. If you're not going to cook them all, you want to put them in the freezer, blanch them. That's what they do with the ones in the store. They cook them, steam them, or whatever. Those claws and all of that stuff, that's what you get. They've been blanched, cooked, steamed, whatever. So I doubt if I eat all of these today. Definitely going to be frying a lot of them. So here I go again. Got my crab, right? I hold the back of the crab. And because I'm not strong enough to just stick my thumbs down in there and pull it apart, I use my kitchen shears to separate it. That's the line right there where you want to separate, right in there. Excuse my gardening gloves, but that's all I had. And like I said, it works out well for me to be able to get a good grip. The plastic gloves probably wouldn't work out well because my hands are not strong enough to just go in there and rip a crab apart. So then you put your thumb, once you make that opening, I need my shears again. You put both of your thumbs in there. Where's the camera? Put in both of your thumbs. And then, sorry, Mr. Crab, but you're about to get eaten today. Pull it apart. Oh, I ain't pulled that one good enough, but I pulled it. So let's get all of this stuff out of here. Then I start cleaning. If I look sweaty, it's because I am. I'm in here working. Pull it apart. And then I'm gonna get off the live in a second, and then I'm gonna come back and show you my fry pot and my boil pot. because we're definitely going to do crab boil today. And I'm not putting corn, potatoes. I do got a little bit of sausage, but I'm not gonna put that in there. I want some blue crabs, because I'm from Riviera Beach, Florida. We grew up on eating blue crabs. I didn't start eating snow crabs and know anything about them until I went to college. We didn't eat out often. My mom made dinner every day for us. When we did go out, it was somewhere like the old Morrison's cafeteria or something like that. Then they had what's that place out on 441? The buffet place out there that you can never get into on Sunday because it's so crowded. We would eat occasionally there, but when we did our seafood, we did straight blue crabs, live crabs, big crab, juicy crab. So that one's clean, and then it goes down here in the water to sit until I'm ready for it. But yeah, those are good memories. And today I said I want me some blue crabs. And when I saw that video that Latoya put on, La Soli Seafood Company, yeah, that's what you look for on Blue Heron. She said she got plenty of crabs. You buy a dozen, and you get a half dozen for free. Who can beat that? And her crabs are not those itty bitty crabs either. These are good size for good eating. So I got another one. Let me work and talk at the same time. But that's what I'm doing today. I'm gonna fry, and then I'm gonna turn my TV on. Hopefully a football game is on somewhere. And after that, my mouth might be wide open. I might be asleep. But hey, Lord, I want me some crabs so bad. Let me tell y'all a quick story while I have your attention with this crab thing. So I called Rockin' Crab last week. Hadn't been there in a while. I did not want to go down to Riggins. First of all, I didn't want to drive that far, and the second thing is, it's just me. I didn't want to take up restaurant space from other people. So I said, let me call Rockin' Crab and give me a carry out. So I don't know who owns Rockin' Crab now, but they are not on my list anymore for patronizing. So I called and I asked the lady about the special, because they have a different special every day. The most popular one is the Sunshine. So I called and I asked, do you all have the Sunshine available today? Huh? You had a Sunshine available today. Sunshine? I said, yeah. Don't you offer the Sunshine special for your crabs? You get crab and shrimp, maybe a little piece of lobster tail or whatever it is for about $50, right? $45 and some change will come out to $50 with the taxes. So she was so impatient with me, and I was getting ready to order calamari when she told me how much it would cost, what time I was coming. And while I was telling her, hey, I want to add something else, what kind of sauce you want? I said, well, I wanted to add another thing. What kind of sauce? What kind of sauce? I said, you know what, ma'am? I said, never mind, and thank you. And then I hung up the phone, right? Because it wasn't going to go well. And I know from working in food service, when you're not getting along with the person taking your order, something might happen to your food by the time you get it. So I just told her, never mind. But she was very short-tempered. And I was thinking to myself, should I just go by there and order and say, hey, I was the person on the phone? I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. But it's not going to work out well for either one of us. So after I hung up, she called me back 3 times. And I said, Lord, I sent in a voicemail the first time. And she called back again. Sent in a voicemail again. And then she called back again. I said, Lord, if I answer this phone, this is a test of my faith. Something might happen. And when I say she was yelling at me, she was literally yelling at me. And I said, I don't have to pay all of this money for a meal and have somebody yelling at me. But anyway, I let it go. And then I called my mom. Thank you, Jesus, for my mother. And she was like, yeah, that's the best thing to do. I said, some of these people just don't know, you know, treat people with kindness and treat people how you want to be treated. I don't know what that lady's problem was, who made her mad, whatever. I don't know who the new owners are of the place, but the service wasn't the same. And therefore, they are off my list of places to patronize. And another thing, I don't know why the employees are abusive to the customers when you depend on them to pay your bill. Anyway, let me get off of that. So I'm on my next crab here. And then I'm gonna get off here. And I got my seafood bowl ready. Now don't forget, you can get these crabs at La Soli's Seafood Company on Blue Heron Boulevard. If you're going towards the beach, it's on the right side. It's a blue building across the street from Popeyes and directly next door to the little corner store on the corner of E Avenue and Blue Heron. Just pull up in there. Park at the store to make it convenient. Walk a little bit across the sidewalk, go over there and go on the door. You'll see Latoya sitting there ready to get your crabs. And again, they're buy a dozen, get a half a dozen for free. Who has a better deal than that? It was good live crab. There's the next clean one. And actually, I'm enjoying this. This is my first time doing blue crab myself, and also cleaning them first before I cook them. And again, a really good tip for those who might be afraid of getting pinched by the crab or them getting out, running all over your kitchen. Put them in the ice bath first. I got my cooler out. I put some ice in. I put some water in there. And then I just dumped the whole bag of crab in there. And they were in there wiggling around at first, and then they stopped wiggling. They're still alive now. They're just cold. So, and again, these are male crab. Good size crab. I'm just cleaning and talking. Cleaning and talking. Cleaning and talking. So one thing Latoya said is she wants to teach the community about crabs, about cooking, all of this stuff. I'm ready for it. Because I was like, can I freeze these? She was like, yes, but you need to blanch them first. Blanch them, cool them down, and then you can put them in your freezer. And another thing she said, which is the best idea, she said, to preserve the freshness of the crab, blanch them, put them in a storage container or a bag, and then put them in your refrigerator, and the freshness will last 7 days. So like now, if I wanted me some crab boil next Saturday, I would blanch some of these. There's another clean one. I would blanch some and then put them in a container and put them in the bottom of my refrigerator on the bottom shelf to keep them preserved. And the freshness would be just like today. The freshness will be there. What you thought? Hey, I don't understand that. What do you mean? Is in relation to the crab? Please explain, sir, because that has me baffled. That has me baffled. I don't know what you're talking about, but please explain, sir. So, we are still cleaning crab. Real live blue crab. These Maryland crab, they're big too. You know, people from Maryland think they know everything there is to know about crab, and I bet it's different. God bless y'all, though. I ain't trying to say nothing or start nothing. But I'm born and raised in Riviera Beach. I mean, crab all my life. And it was blue crab only growing up. Wasn't no snow crab. We would boil our crab, but we wouldn't clean them first. We would lay out some newspaper on the table, spread it out real good. See, I just opened that one. And y'all see that? I just pulled the top off. And if you are easily disgusted by looking things, then this is not for you. I don't mind. Because it's like cleaning fish. You know the fish is fresh. You got to open it up. You got to scale it and pull everything out on the inside. And then you eat. So, I got to lean a little bit. My back hurt me just a little bit. So, I clean the inside. I pull off the lungs. Put it in the water that I have here to clean it out. And then one side of my sink is the water for when I pull the top of the crab off. And the other side is when they're clean. Just leave them in there until I'm ready for them. So I got my crab boil water warming up, getting ready to boil. When that starts boiling, I'm going to drop some in there. And then I'm going to take out my fry pot and fry the others. But this is what I've been wanting for so long. And it doesn't take long to fry crabs. Where can you buy fried? Oh, La Soli's got fried crab. You can get fried crab from her. You can get everything from her. Oxtails on Sunday, all kinds of stuff. But if you want the best crab, the rule boy on the what? Yeah, brother. You know what? That's a good idea. I might make that a tradition for me. Now, my mom, for her, she had to have seafood every Friday. Fridays are seafood Fridays for Miss Mary. The rude lady on the who? Was somebody being rude on here? On the phone. Oh! Hey, I don't know if that lady was I have no idea. I don't know what was going on with her. That was that rocking crab, and the lady answered the phone. She was so nasty to me. And I'm like, man, we're on the phone. What if I was in person? We probably would have been in fisticuffs talking to me like that. No way am I going to pay you to disrespect me and probably drop my food on the floor first. That's why I was telling her, no thank you, never mind, in the most kindest, sweetest way that I could. I was using my professional office voice. You know that voice. Hi, good afternoon. I'd like to place an order for pickup. Can you tell me about your specials? I know you have the sunshine, and actually I found that the sunshine is the most popular by Googling first and looking at the reviews. I know that the sunshine special is one of your most popular specials. Is that available today? Sunshine, sunshine, what's sunshine? Oh, sunshine. And I was like, okay, well, let me get that. And then I like to add another thing. What's your sauce? What's your sauce? What's your sauce? And I said, well, ma'am, I had another entree that I was going to order, but never mind. Thank you so much. Woo, she was so nasty. And then I just hung up. I told her thank you. I was very nice. And then I also said I wasn't sure if it was a language barrier, right? So she couldn't understand me. I couldn't understand her. So I put on my best nasal resonance. Hi. Yes, I'd like to get the sunshine, if you don't mind, please. Thank you so much. Yeah, she was so nasty. She was yelling at me. And I was like, oh. And see, that was on a Sunday. I think that was Sunday before last. And thank God for her and me. I went to church that morning and learned some things. And that's why I started praying. I said, God, you got to help me, because in this day and age, and I'm a senior citizen, it doesn't take much for me to go there. And I'm going to give you what you give me. What you give me these days is what you get back. Period. However, hold on, let me get another crab. I try to lead with love. And I was very kind to her. And then I say, Lord, I know this is nothing but a test, because if I answer this phone and it's not kindness coming from the other end, there's a good chance that the wheels to my car may ride the Village Boulevard and ask who's over the phone taking my order. But because I'm trying to make it to heaven, and I'm more than half of 100 years old, I said I won't answer. I will not answer. And who calls people back like that? Back to back to back to back. So whatever mental issue or crisis or menstruate or whatever she had going on was not my problem. And I said, Lord, if I end up in jail, ain't nobody here to come get me. So I let it go. And I went think I just came home and made me a sandwich that day. So, might have been the Lord saving my life. Because with eating out these days, you never know what you get. Who washed their hands. That stuff. See, this is that yellow stuff. Sorry, y'all. But this is the yellow stuff that comes with the crab. And I don't like that stuff. Some people be like, oh, I'm going to eat it. I done seen people take crackers and bread and dip it in there after the crab is done. We always sent that to the garbage pile. On our newspaper, that yellow stuff in the lawns, that goes over there. And then your crab go over here. Then you take your crab, you pull the top off, you clean it out, and break it in half if you want to, and get down eating. And look how big the claws are in this one. Go to La Soli Seafood on Blue Heron. She right there next to the corner store on the corner of E Avenue and Blue Heron Boulevard. Right across from Popeyes. Just go right in there and you'll see her sitting there. Alright, let me see how many I got left. Hey, this is going by fast. I have so now I've cleaned the ones I paid for, so it's a lot of crabs. So I have 6 left. These are, you buy a dozen, you get a half a dozen free. So I'm still cleaning. This is a labor of love. This is what I wanted to do, so that when I sit down and eat, I knew my crabs are cleaned already, and it ain't that much work. I'm cracking claws and tearing it up. And I didn't put in, again, I didn't put in potatoes, eggs, sausage, none of that. I want straight good blue crab. This is what I want. Like I said, I had to put my garden gloves on because my hands aren't real strong. And having to pull the top off the crab to clean it. And I like that they're frozen and not moving yet. They are still alive. It make me think less about the fact that I've ended their life. So that I can enjoy some good seafood today. So they're not squirming around, and also, you know, they rely, once you pull the top off, the legs might still be kicking. I haven't seen none of that. And this here is a labor of love. And I learned this method from either Facebook or TikTok. They said throw them in some ice water first. Clean them first. And then cook them the way you want to. So I'd rather do this now instead of having all of those piles of red crab shells. So we're good now. I ain't mean to crack it like that, but it's cracked. It is cracked. So Latoya said next month the crabs are going to be even bigger. Definitely be back. That's where I'm getting my blue crabs from now on. Right at La Soli's in the good city of Riviera Beach. Bag them up and take them home. Now, there you go. Cut that part off. See what I'm cutting off now? The part where the eyeballs were. Where the eyes come out when you take the top shell off. But then that part is left where the eyeballs were. So I cut that off with my kitchen shears. And then the lungs are here, so I cut that part off. Oh, I said something to say on here. Oh, that was it. Oh, I done missed everything. Sorry, y'all. Hi, Grace. Oh, do you I have to ask Latoya about the soft shell. I like those too. They taste so good fried. You really ain't got to clean them. You just take, there ain't no shell. You just take them and fry them. Those are really good. I love them. Let me see what else has something to say. I think that was it. Thank you everybody who's tuning in. It's just me cleaning crabs. So when I get off here, when I start cooking, I'm gonna come back on here, or maybe just do some video to show what they look like cleaning. But for a person like me who's I've never cleaned raw blue crab. I've opened them up in preparation to eat them once they're done. But the raw crab, I've never cleaned them first before I cook them. And this is my first time cooking blue crabs by myself. Something in there. So I think I got 3 more in this claws on the bottom of the cooler. So this here is a game changer for me. So now that I know I can do it, and I don't have to be afraid of the crabs pinching me. And then when I picked up a couple of them, I tried to pick them up with the tongs. When they were wiggling around, they slipped out of the tongs because they were moving so much. So I was able to grab them from the back, and then that way I don't have to worry about getting pinched while I was putting them over in the cooler to cool them down so I can do this. Now I'm going to triple bag this when I get ready to put it into my garbage can. But it's not bad at all. Like I said, it's like shucking oysters. Just gotta fight to get an oyster open. Opening these crabs is a lot easier than the oyster for people who don't have strong hands like me. This is a good way to open up your crabs, clean them. So once they're done, all you gotta do is sit down and eat. And that's the way I'm gonna do them from now on. You don't have to worry. One time we did crabs when I was little, and the crabs was climbing out of the pot all over the floor. And me not knowing no better, I ran outside. I was terrified. So some of the claws came out with them holding on to each other. Look at the claw crabs, crab claws. These are big blue Maryland crabs. So I'm so glad and grateful for Latoya having fresh crabs. I didn't have to go to nobody's store, fight the crowd and all that. I went right to Lunch Solis on Blue Heron and got the crabs. I want it. More than enough for me. And after this one, I have one more, and then I'll get off here. So, I call these eyeball holders. This part right here, that was the front of the crab where the eyeballs were. I cut them off. I know I'm not eating that. And just to make the crab look a little bit neater. So there are a lot of people like me who want some crabs, but you don't want a whole bunch of work. After you're done cooking, you want to sit down and get down. You're going to have to be cleaning the lungs and all of that stuff after it's done. And I just want a clean crab. The water over here is clean. Let me show you that before I get off. Actually, I have 2 left, so let me go ahead and do these 2 right quick. As they say, bust down. This one's still moving a little bit, but that's okay. God bless you, brother. You're going to crab heaven right now. Alright. So, anybody out there catching sand perch? Why y'all be so stingy with the sand perch? Like, people like me who want to buy them, and then y'all want to talk trash and this and that. I pay for mine, and I always tip when I buy my fish. I haven't had sand perch in a while. What's up, Amir? Happy Saturday. You never sent me the information, by the way. I've been looking for it. But if anybody has sand perch, let me know. I want to buy some. Yes, I'm doing a tutorial on cleaning crabs for people like me. It's my first time doing my own crab, and I had seen video on to make it less scary. You put the crabs in ice water, which I did, so they would stop moving. And then also clean them first before you boil them. So, excuse me. Take out the lungs and take the lungs out. Like I said, I take the scissors and cut the eyeball holder. That's what I call it, where the eyeballs was. I cut that part off. And the kitchen shears and all of that stuff that people boil with their water. I don't want that in my water, so I just clean it out. Clean them first. And then boiling them, you know, if you want to boil your crabs whole, of course. It's good for presentation. And if you want to do all of that work when you get ready to eat, help yourself. That's the way I know how to eat them. That's the only way I know how to eat them. Is just get your water boiling. Put your Old Bay, whatever seasoning, your potatoes and all that stuff if you want to do that with these. And boil away. But I want mine clean because I'm going to, this is a pretty good size one too. Because so huge. I'm going to fry some of my crab. Was that the last one? Nope, I got one more. One more, last one, best one. I went and got some more glasses. These glasses are from America's Best. If you go to America's Best on North Lake Boulevard, where the Chick-fil-A is on North Lake Boulevard, where Hobby Lobby is, and Staples and all of that, Dollar Tree. America's Best is in there. Go see Brian Young. Now, Brian is very good at what he does. He measured my face and everything. Picked out some frames. I got some other frames that I got. I think I got 3 or 4 more pair, but I chose to wear these today. And I like them. They're different. And he will take good care of you. And tell him I sent you. Ask for Brian at America's Best on North Lake Boulevard. Alright, last one. That's the top. I'm not going to show you the inside. And then here's the bottom with the lungs and everything. That's where the eyeballs, the mouth, and all of that. I'm going to cut that off. I think that was just the part for the mouth, not the eyeballs. But we're going to still call them eyeball holder because that's what I see. So then you're left with this. And then, oh yeah, she got some big crab. Latoya Perry at La Soli Seafood on Blue Heron Boulevard. When I get off here, I'm going to put the address in the description because I forgot the address, but it's on the corner of E Avenue and Blue Heron. Next to the corner store, right across the street from Popeyes. You will see a blue building. You will see La Soli Seafood directly next to the corner store where Boost Mobile and all that stuff is. And she said you can park. Okay, I need to go over there to Phil Foster about the sample. They do be out there during the day. But yeah, I want to go out there and catch and get me a couple of bags. But they be, you know, and people know people want sand purchase. They be trying to act funny with the sand purchase. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to find somebody. I'm going to go out there too and check around. But anyway, La Soli Seafood. So today, you get a dozen crabs, and you get a half a dozen for free. She said she has plenty of crabs. Now, if you go out there, tell her I said to come over there. And her crabs ain't small. They're not small at all. Good size crabs. So that's the last one. Look at the claws on that one. Wait, hold on. I should have been covered up there. Like, look at that. And it's clean. So I'm going to show y'all. Let me take these gloves off. I got to wash my gloves for real. And see, you with nails and all of that. I clean crabs. But like I said, my hands are not, they're good for slapping and maybe punching. But as far as, I'm just kidding. But as far as pushing, pulling, opening jars, stuff like that, my hands are not that strong. I've had a couple of surgeries on my hands, so I do have, you know, I'm a senior citizen now. I got a jar opener. I had 2 of them. Yeah, I have a handy dandy jar over there, and I was trying to figure out how to open the crabs. I had the screwdriver first, but it was chewing up the shell with me trying to stick it in and pull it to open. And so I started using my kitchen shears, so I could just let me use this. I could put it in the opening between the top shell and bottom shell, and I just slid it down, and then I was able to pull it apart with my gloves on. So let me show y'all what I have here. I'm gonna turn the other light on. Alrighty, the paper towel, and then I'm gonna get out here and get my crab boil and my fry pot ready. So these are all of the shells that I collected. I just put them in a bag, and then it's 2 bags actually. And then I'm going to put these 2 bags, I'm going to tie them up real good, and then I'm going to put them into a garbage bag and then take them outside. You know, keep down the smell, flies, and all of that. This is the dirty water where I clean my crabs. It's full of crab lungs and whatnot. Those are my gloves. These are my gardening gloves, but I use them, and they were clean, by the way. And here's a clean crab. Here, let me turn the light on. There it is. Woo woo. These are the clean crab. And you see the waters? It's not that dirty. I think I might rinse them off one more time. Let the water out of here, and then rinse them off again. See, I've cleaned the inside and everything. So these crabs are good sized crabs. They're not little bitty babies. And I may cook half of these. The ones that I don't eat, I'm going to blanch them and bag them up, and we'll eat on them next weekend. But for today, we're going to be frying, and then I'm going to come back and show y'all how I fry and how they're going to end up looking. So yeah, that's my tutorial for those who are like me, who've never cleaned crab before by yourself. Who've never cleaned them before you've eaten them, and how to make it less scary by using the ice water bath. That's where they started at. After I took them out of the bag, I put them in the cooler with the ice. They were wiggling all over the place, and then they stopped wiggling as they cooled off. Then I took them over here, took the kitchen shears, pulled the back of the crab off. Well, actually, it was the top that I pulled off. Put the top out here. This is crab long.